Good morning. There's Katie. There's our Katie.
Yes.
Deborah Ann. Oh, how sweet.
Oh, goodness sakes. Look at all these wonderful people who've showed up. Eileen, yay. Siobhan, all the way from Ireland. Wow.
Yay.
And so here I see as well, she was at the Pulse Clinic in Sarasota.
Oh,
Welcome.
hooray. Welcome, welcome.
Yes.
Good morning.
Very good. Very
Good
good.
morning. So good to see you all.
So there's a wonderful statement. I'm sure you've all heard it that many are called, few answer the call, and even fewer do the work in order to be able to be granted access to the temple. And
Mm.
so I just want to really acknowledge you all because many were called, few answered, but just fewer really are willing to do the work to be in the temple. So let's all start by patting ourselves on the chest 6 times. Well done. We
Well
showed
done.
Well
up.
done. Well
Welcome,
Yay.
done.
Gina. Welcome,
Well
Leonora.
done, Linda.
Well
Yes,
done,
well
Linda.
Couldn't make
done.
it
Yes.
last
So good to
Sunday.
have you here.
Good to see you all.
Well done.
Yes, so good to see you.
Yeah, my body demanded more rest, and there's always, getting ready for the day, all this good stuff.
Welcome,
Yep.
Judy.
Jana. So just to let you know, today what we thought we'd do is do a little bit of a deep dive into our personal experiences with silence. And then we are going to really talk about what do we need to let go of in order to really go into silence. What needs to happen for each of us, and talk about what a day of silence might look like. And what else, Cornelia?
And then we will go actually in 5 minutes into silence. And then we will kind of take stock. How does it make you feel to be in silence? To just give you a tiny glimpse of what that might feel like. And we can talk about your reactions to it, what kind of thoughts are coming up, because all of that is an indicator what might happen on Saturday when we actually go for a full day of silence. So it's all being fun and it's all an experiment, as Dr. Glint always likes to say. And so we are all looking forward to all of that, and we are all excited, particularly Katie, Susan, and myself, who have been planning that for quite a while now. And we had so much fun to come up with what we are going to do today on the call while we were actually driving from Ashland to Mount Shasta. So we had a kind of a brainstorm meeting in the car, and it was fabulous.
And
And
I want to give
so,
credit to Joe for having the idea of using that time to do that. Thank you, Joe.
yeah,
And can we start with just a minute of silence?
definitely. So,
Do you
Katie,
want
are
to
you
do a
going to
minute
guide
or
us?
5 minutes? Do you want to just jump right in?
I would wait for the 5 minutes because people are still joining, so we have everyone there to start, please.
Okay, great. And before, I'd like to repeat what I said in the beginning, because now there are many more people on the call. So welcome to everyone that has joined. And I just wanted to say, many are called, few answer the call, and even fewer are willing to do the actual work that it takes to get into the temple. And so each one of you are the fewer. And being willing to do the work, the beautiful work of silence, of being with yourself. So I just wanted to acknowledge each of you for answering the call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Katie.
Okay, Katie, are you guiding us
Yes.
into 1 minute?
So I was setting my timer and I almost set it to 2 hours. We'll do that on Saturday. All right. I'm so glad to see all of you here. Thank you for showing up. Let's just settle in for a moment. And I don't know about you all, but at the beginning of a call, I get a little excited. So I want to just kind of calm the energy and get comfortable with your eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. Take a nice, easy, gentle breath into your belly. Let it out with a little sigh, maybe a little wiggle to get settled into your nest a little bit more. And here we go. The beauty of that quiet, such a gift that we can give to ourselves. And that was just one quick little minute. And we will have so much more to enjoy that we can give ourselves anytime we want to. Take a breath in, if that's where your breathing rhythm is, and out. Come back. Know that you are so loved and appreciated, every one of you. So glad you're here. So this morning, I woke up and, of course, was thinking about this and asked for guidance and support in being present and to be the best support I could be and to notice what might be coming. And I had two things that really just cracked me up, I have to say. So the first one was our cat was going around just meowing. Like, what are you saying? As my son says to her, speak English. I don't know what she was saying, but then I realized, oh, I talk to myself all the time too. That's like, I'm going to have to be quiet on Saturday and not talk to myself and really notice the thoughts. And then the other thing was John and I have a fabulous Qigong teacher, and she teaches online. And so we had Qigong this morning. And sometimes she teaches it in silence. And I thought that that was what was happening. But then I realized, no, it was John had his hearing aids connected to the Bluetooth so he could hear what she was saying, but I didn't hear anything. I was thinking, this is so perfect, like so perfect to get to notice how much more attuned to the energy moving and movements I was in the silence. So it's like I got a little appetizer. And the kind of reminder to attend to what is happening right now. I yield for the moment.
Okay, and I would like to welcome definitely the person who inspired us all to do that, actually, and that is, of course, Dr. Clint. Welcome do a day of silence and then maybe move on to much longer phases of silence. So I'm so happy you're here.
Oh, it feels so good to be here. I love how you started, and I've been actually reading in the book Ancient Secrets of Master Healer, the section where Dr. Ram encouraged me to go for silence for the first time, and brings back so many memories. And I can't think of anything more important that we could be doing on planet Earth right now than slowing down, listening deeply, and learning better how to dance with the unknown. And so to have everyone who's on this call, I love seeing you here, Eileen and Judy and Leonore, Luke and Lynn, Noraya, Sophia, Wales, so good having you joining us, Phil, Shaban, Bibu, Carol, Jaina, Sahara, Sharon, Claudia, Sohila. There's some people I haven't named, Linda,
Hi, Clint.
Eileen, Ariana, Anane, Debran, Belle. Happy birthday, Belle. 80th. Wow. Getting so spoiled today. This is like a new birthday gift we give ourselves. And unless we have more time, I won't read this actual section, but Dr. Naram, he emphasizes this as a sacred process, a yagna, he says, to discover yourself. Most of us we're just too crowded in our brain, so much programming to even know who we actually are. Even in Christian tradition, there's a scripture that says, "Be still and know that I am God." And I really think it's like a mathematical formula. You be still and you are going to discover the divine in you and around you in a new way. And so I'm so excited. Thank you, Cornelia. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Katie, for organizing. I woke up this morning so excited. I posted about this in so many places because I'm like, everyone should know that this is happening and have the choice. And hopefully it's not the last one. Hopefully we'll be able to build from this. But I see in the future hundreds, thousands, maybe even tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands joining together in silence for the reason that it's actually one of the pathways to divine and to clarity and to peace. The question that Katie asked on Sunday's call, so powerful. What do we need to let go of so we can actually experience silence and peace? Like I think Joseph was quoting Dr. Stephen, when you eat the Hmong soup, it's also what you're not eating, and in the silence, there's so much that you let go of in order to feel the peace. So anyway, I also yield, but I'm excited to be here and happy to support in any way I can. And excited for each person that's here, for what's possible as a result of you saying yes in a bold way to this single choice can make a huge difference in every other aspect of your life.
Cool. Good. Love to hear that. The thing that I want to, one of the things to say about this is we're going to co-create this together, that we as a community, we as people, we're going to co-create what this experience is going to be for us together. So today we're just going to explore some things, and you're going to come up with your own rhythm, with your own guidelines, with your own way of being in silence, because that's the way it's most powerful, when it comes from you and your own sense of things. So, Cornelia, what would you like to do? Shall we ask the question about what comes up around silence right now, or you want to go right in?
We have the idea that we ask kind of right now, a couple of people would like to share what does the word silence mean for you when you think about your maybe first memories of what the word silence meant for you. And it could be positive. It could be also negative. I shared on Sunday that my very first experience with silence was that my parents used to fight a lot, and then they wouldn't talk to each other, and then they would kind of say to my sister and myself, can you say to dad, or can you say to your mom? And instead of talking to each other, they were treating each other with silence, but we as kids were in between. And that was very difficult to be, because we didn't want to be kind of torn between the two. And so for me, when I look back at the very first memory of silence, is that after that I had many positive experience of being in silence, being with my first newborn baby in silence for quite a while, and just being there. So that was a completely different experience of silence. But what is it for you? And if you just have a couple of you who would like to share something like that, because it might also kind of, in a way, influence how you are going to approach a day of silence if you have never done one.
Linda, I see your hand up.
Okay, I didn't. Okay, please.
Hi, everybody. When I was a kid, silence meant I had to shut up when my mom told me to. And I'm not real good at shutting up. And then she learned to say, be quiet to me instead of shut up. That's somewhat more polite. And I don't remember what it was I was saying exactly that was pissing her off. Excuse my language. But it doesn't help to try and impose silence on me. That said, I am pretty good at stillness, and that's about all I have to say. I'll talk some more later about what I need to let go of for the silent retreat. Thanks for listening, Linda, California.
Thank you,
Thank
Linda.
you.
Thank you, Linda.
Deborah. Anne. Sorry, Deborah.
No worries. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I experienced silence, and the definition I'll give that I've experienced just this last weekend, where I was in a room full of people when there was lots of noise, but I was able to close my eyes and just focus on my heart and my head and just be quiet in my mind and just be with myself. And that was a really great experience. It didn't matter where I was silent, and I was with myself. It was a great feeling. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, Luke.
So, Katie, I think you brought up a good point when you talked about your experience recently with silence. And here's something I think it's important for us to pay attention to when we have this. Silence is not only about not speaking the words that come out of your mouth, but it's also silencing your mind. And that's an interesting thing for us to really look at. I know many, many years ago when I was a practitioner of TM, Transcendental Meditation, I'd go on these retreats in Northern California. They were called residence courses for an entire weekend. And we would have in the morning hours of what was called rounding, which was meditation, yogic practices, and really, really being conscious of silence, not just the words, not just the lack of words, but the thoughts. So that's, for me, that's going to be an interesting practice as we do this. It's easy to not speak, but it's for me, I'm going to really pay close attention to the silence of the mind.
Nice. Thank you, Luke. Joe?
A couple things. First is, children are to be seen but not heard, which is an incredibly crushing thing, that your voice is taken away. That's a profound thing to do to a little being. And coming forward, my experience in like public or in a group or in a retreat or whatever you want to call it, of honoring silence, the first thing was like, it was so easy. I was so relieved. There was just something about, it takes away so much of the personalities. And for me, I didn't have to think about, well, oh, am I saying the right thing, or is this okay, or is that going to impress somebody, or is this all that's just gone. And so I look forward to my silence, and thank you for bringing this.
Thank you for being with us. Leonore.
Hi, good morning,
Good
everybody.
morning.
Yeah, I grew up on this topic at Ananda community, Ananda village in Northern California, and their silent retreat was prolonged usually. It meant that people went into a cabin by themselves for days. They had the food brought to them, and it was called silent retreat. Also, you could have a sticker on your shirt in the back or front, and it says, instead of a name, it would say, I'm in silence. And so even when they did karma yoga in the kitchen, nobody would address them. They would respectfully not distance themselves, but not talk to them. And so I did never a retreat like that at Ananda, but I did a 9-day silent retreat, absolutely no talking, at Barre, Insight Meditation in Barre, Massachusetts. And I thought it would be very difficult. We were a lot of people there. It's a big retreat building. And it became easier and easier. I think the hardest part was the sitting, because it involved hours and hours of sitting. So I'm curious on how we would like to do that here. Are we going to be silent, but do still have activities going on in our day? And I have very relatively little contact with people. I'm with neighbors, yes, but I have sometimes very long stretches where I don't talk to anybody except to myself. With age, I do this more, and I'm finding it funny. So the logistic about the day is of interest to me, whether I'm going to participate on Saturday or not, because living such a solitary life in an elder community, Saturday is my farmers market day, and I'm not going to be in silent much because it's the village day, and it's like on the commons in New England. We meet there, and everybody knows everybody. This is our gathering place. So it's probably not likely that I come unless I get convinced on this call that, yes, I should come. And I want to chime in with Luke. Yes, it's the silencing of the mind, that how we understand it on the spiritual path, to still the monkey mind, to it's not just words, but truly shut up. So I was sitting on the Connecticut River this morning and practicing that in preparation of this call today, and of possibly Saturday, or doing a silent retreat at another time, either with you or by myself. And the more silent I became in my mind, the more I could hear. I heard little splashes in the water and birds and details in nature. There wasn't a soul around. It was around 6:30 in the morning, I was there before sunrise. And there are so many nuances to silence that I would like to mention here, in addition to just the two extremes, just to silence the mouth and silence the mind, truly. And so I want to stop right here, but I think I have brought up enough points. And my question is, how do you see this structured for Saturday?
Yeah, we'll get to that. Susan,
I just want to
yield to you.
Oh, no, I was going to share just what comes up for me with silence. When I was a little girl, my mom was an external processor. If any of you know what that is, mean that whatever was going on in her mind came out her mouth. And so she talked all the time. And she would say how terrible it was that people were silent. And we'd go to restaurants and she'd see a couple sitting there in silence and she'd say, that's just awful. They don't have anything to talk to each other about. And so I would get extraordinarily nervous if there was silence. I remember going out on dates and writing down notes about things to talk about, subjects. And because, my teaching was silence is very bad. And so that's been a journey to come away from that and to not only have it be okay with silence, but then to really deepen so much about what is silence, and what does it mean? So I don't know if anybody relates to that, where silence was not a good thing. So I just wanted to bring that out. Katie, you're relating to that.
Yeah, definitely. For me,
Yeah.
silence was punishment.
Yeah.
And, my mom would, if she was unhappy, she would just go silent
Yeah.
for days.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't know why. And of course, as a little child, I thought it was all about me, right? It was my fault. What did I do? What did I say? What can I do? What can I say? How do I make this better? So it would elicit feelings of panic. And I think it went right to that survival instinct of, am I safe? Am I safe? And it wasn't safe. And so after many, many years of prayer and meditation and therapy and all the blah, 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 all the things, to really get to a place where silence is such a gift, and not just silence, but the stillness that can come. Because as Luke and Leonora have said, no, silence is not just not talking, but stillness. And I do want to say, well, first, just raise your actual hand. Has everybody here experienced silence? Are you meditators? Yeah, I would think so. So, not a whole lot to say or explain about that, because you all know. I have been amazed by what can happen when we all share an experience, even virtually, in the Zoom world or in the non-physical world. And so I know that I will be alert to our joined energy on Saturday. And Leonora, I would say, we had wanted to mention that if you are going to use part of your day Saturday in walking meditation, to make a little sign for yourself that says honoring silence. And if you don't want to do that at the farmer's market, of course, that's up to you. Maybe don't do the whole day of silence. Do what works for you. And we are suggesting a rhythm. We'll have some suggested rhythms of the day. My approach is to alternate sitting and walking meditation. That might not be what you choose. So, it's your day. We're going to be doing it together. And we are doing this as a one-day thing, but also in preparation for more, where we will have a 3-day and then maybe a 7-day, building up to the 10-day, which Dr. Clint, I have to just thank you. There's no words for the gratitude that I have for your encouragement to go into 10 days of silence and solitude, which really changed the state of my being and of my heart. Yeah. And this is one day. Please let go of expectations. Please please give yourself the grace of just being with what is for the day. I yield. Lynn.
Thank you for sharing that, Katie, because I was kind of sitting with some questions in my mind, similar to what Leonora shared. It's the solstice, and there are solstice events that I really love and want to attend, and I'm someone who lives alone. There's a lot of quiet in my life, and I really value being out in community with other people and connection with other people, and so I'll negotiate with myself how much silence and how much quiet I take, and also as someone who has gone to retreats and had a day committed to silence, that is an experience I've had, and I'll need to also just remind myself to keep my mind quiet even though I'm not talking. And I guess I also wanted to just, I'm someone who can very easily be quiet and just watch and observe, and sometimes I need to make myself speak. So it's just an interesting observation. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone who shared their experiences with some memories of silence. And the reason why we brought...
Wait, I think Phil just raised her hand.
Yeah, Phil has
Okay.
her hand up.
Okay, it didn't come up on me. Okay.
It's okay.
Thanks,
Yep.
Susan. Thanks, Cornelia. Now, I just wanted to share my first experience of real silence was about 30 years ago, and so I was a primary school teacher, so I taught very young children, and I'd gone back into teaching after being at home with my own family for my own children for 13 years, and I had a class of 36 5-year-olds, and I'd forgotten. No, I hadn't forgotten how to teach, but it had been a long time since I'd been in a classroom. It was the first time I had taught in a school that we were teaching through the Irish language. So that was all new to me. And I was stressed. I was very stressed. And I had an interesting chair of the board of management who wanted to try out meditation with children. And she asked if she could do it with my class. And I said yes. I had a small experience of transcendental meditation as a student, but not a lot. And she would come into my class for 20 minutes every day. And I fell in love with meditation. I fell in love with silence because it was 20 minutes of peace in what could be a day of chaos. And when I went home in the afternoons then with my children, I would say to them, just give me 20 minutes. And I would take another 20 minutes of silence. And that would give me what I needed to do, to spend time with family for the evening. So it became a lifeline for me, that silence. And I continue to do it. I love meditation. I love the silence. I've done a 10-day Vipassana, which I have to say was really challenging. To sit with yourself for 10 days is very challenging. But it was in the end very beneficial. So yeah, I love it. And I'm actually going to have to leave the call. And I just want to say to you, I will probably be finished because I'm in Ireland. So I will be finished my day of silence when you're about starting. So my intention is to do a mix of quietness, sitting in silence, walking meditation, but also working in my garden. I love working in my garden. It's always really quiet and really silent. So that's my plan for the day. So so thank you for this. Thank you for this, because it's been a while since I've done a day, and I'm looking forward to it.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And if you could join us on Sunday on the Sunday call, we are going to be sharing our experiences of what happened when we did our day of silence. So we'd love to have, and that's for everybody. Just by you being here, you're already putting energy into this. So please attend the Sunday call.
Okay, will do. Thank you. Thanks, Susan.
Mm-hmm. Luke?
So I'm going to add an ingredient to my day of silence, and it came about because as we were having this call right now, I was practicing being in silence, and I found myself very naturally saying, as my mind was silent, I found myself naturally saying, I am divine infinite consciousness, or things like that of inspiration. And I'm going to give myself that permission if those things come up in my mind, because I think that adds to the silence. Or if you want to say something like Aham Brahmasmi Om Shrim, which means I am all that is in great abundance. So I think for me anyway, this I'm not speaking for anybody else. If I have an inspiring mantra or reminding myself that I'm infinite consciousness in my day of silence, I'm going to give myself that permission because
Oh, yeah.
I think that enhances the silence actually.
Beautiful. We did yesterday speak about every hour doing the Marma, Aham Brahmasmi, Om Shrim, not saying the words, but within ourselves. So
Well,
just
actually, that's what I didn't mean saying it. I have to clarify. I don't mean saying it out loud. I will be saying those things in my mind only, not speaking it.
nice. Cornelia, do you think now is a good time to go into silence, the 5 minutes?
Yep. Yep,
Okay.
I think it is a good time. So the reason why we did that was, as you could see, everyone has a different experience what silence is and what might come up for them. But now we want to go actually into 5 minutes of silence and whatever that means for you. So we will take the time. Katie, are you our timekeeper? Again, set the clock, please. And what I want you to do is just find wherever you are right now. Of course, if you're driving in the car, please don't do that. But if you are kind of sitting somewhere where it's comfortable, to just find a position where you can kind of sit still for 5 minutes. Close your eyes, and together we are taking one deep breath in, exhaling. Do it with a sigh. And maybe shake your body a little bit so it really settles down. And now let's just sit in 5 minutes of silence and just notice what happens.
A rider goes by, but his dust of passing hangs in the air. Look down this road through the particles into infinity. Let's come back, joined together. Open your eyes when you're ready.
So the question is, what happened for you? Does anyone want to share? Does anyone want to share what happened for you in these 5 minutes? I cannot even believe it was 5 minutes. Okay, Linda first and then Ariona.
Hi, everybody. That was really easy for me. I was thinking about the British police officers and all those demonstrations they have in Great Britain and across Europe. They're demonstrating against the same fascism that we Americans are. And I've been a 40 years meditator, and I'm thinking I'll probably sign up for a day of silence. And I thought, no wonder I've always been attracted to quiet places like libraries, houses of worship, cafes, and of course, the forests and rivers. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Ariona.
There we go. Yeah, you know, just it's so beautiful, the silence. And I had a realization that that's why I live out in the middle of nowhere, because I love that. I love the silence. And I also had a realization that I love it. You know, my parents, well, they did say women should, what was it? It's like the kids should be seen and not heard, but my dad always said women should be seen and not heard. So, that was like, huh. But they were always arguing. And it was so nice when it was silent because there was no drama, right? It was just silent. And I was an only child for 5 years, and my first 5 years. And my parents were a lot older. And so kids were never allowed at the house, and I had no interactions with kids at all. So I had my own little world, and I used to think that was a disadvantage. But you know what? It was a real advantage because it taught me how beautiful silence was. And as I was sitting here, as soon as I went into silence, I heard so many birds that I wasn't hearing before. So many birds. And I, just all the different chimes all over my property. And I heard every single one of them. And just, it just puts me in that mindless state, and it's wonderful. And that was my experience.
Thank you so much, Ariona, for sharing. Brian.
Thank you. Every experience is a little bit different, and I'm not much of a dreamer. I really appreciate not dreaming. And so, because it's still, I think about silence is my voice, stillness is my mind. And this 5 minutes, my mind was not still. It went all kinds of places with all kinds of things. And so I know what the stillness feels like. I didn't experience it today. So that would be my goal, to get back to that still mind where just like not dreaming is such a pleasure. So anyway, so it was a good experience. Thank you.
So anyone else who would like to share? Otherwise I share. Susan, otherwise I have to share as well. Go ahead.
Okay. So as I was sitting in the silence, I just got such a sense of a deep rest, and that, this was just 5 minutes, but the thought of spending a full day in that deep, deep rest was very beautiful to me. Thank you.
Okay, I go to everyone else first, and then I will share mine as well. Okay, Leonore.
Yeah, I sat in my kitchen, hooked one bean on the stove behind me, and I have to charge the phone. So I heard the refrigerator, and it was really disturbing me because I wouldn't meditate normally next to it. But it thankfully stopped, and it made all the difference. And neighbors were at the open door conversing outside, and then they stopped. And as the outer noise subsided, I was also relaxing more and more. And the 5 minutes, however, went by very fast. When I heard Katie's voice, I was deep into it. So it was good. Thank you.
Just so you know, Cornelia and Katie and Susan, Eileen raised her hand, but not her mechanic or screen hand, and so did Judy earlier. Just so you know that their hands are not up, but they've raised their hands.
Okay, if you don't know how to do that, you should have on your screen at the very bottom something like more, or you have actually the React bottom, and somewhere there you can raise your hand. Just check what is on in the lower menu on the screen. If you cannot find it, so.
Yeah, Cornelia, I'm aware that many people want to share, and that's so beautiful. But I'm aware of our time and that we really wanted to get into some practical issues around Saturday. So for what that's worth, that we might need to limit this sharing.
Yeah, let's have a couple more who haven't spoken yet, like Bibu. So we hear from, yeah, hello.
Yeah, hi. I had a very relaxing experience just being silent, and I learned, how to be silence within myself, and then meditation practice over the time, and now I'm getting like every time getting better and better to observe my inner world. And while I'm being silenced, I aware with around my body, my thought, my emotion within myself and outside surroundings. And, in between that thought, in between that, emotion, I found that little bit space in between. That was very profound impact. I feel like a real silence in between that, space, and that I'm trying to just, whatever thoughts coming and going, and then feelings, whatever going inside in my world, but I'm not trying to adding any further thought, and just watching that what's coming and going. And over the time, I'm, getting much better, but this experience was really profound and much, I'm improving to handle those, all that jumping, our monkey mind and thought after thought. So it's a really wonderful experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Bibu. Yeah, definitely. I get that we are kind of with the time.
Hopefully, I'm working on my, how to express exactly what I'm trying to say. So I believe that I convey my message to you.
You did. Definitely. It came across.
Maybe people could put in the chat if you'd like to add anything else. Please put it in the chat.
I just would like to, for me, it's only kind of about a minute. What I want to share is that I was actually really silent and really in this place where there was no thought. But then I suddenly had an idea, and that idea actually came because I was so aware of the energy that we had created. And I just want to share this idea because it's actually something that we might consider to do, is that we actually at one point on Saturday take one time, like maybe 9 o'clock Pacific, 12 Eastern, that we all actually go into a sitting meditation and we connect as a group, because I could feel the power of what we just experienced in those just 5 minutes. So I just want to bring it as an idea because I had never thought of that, but it came out of my experience in silence right now. So just as an idea that popped up. And that is also an experience when we are sitting in silence, that really great ideas. I don't know if my idea is great, but in general, that ideas might come up that you have never thought of. So because you suddenly are in a different space.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
so
that's inspiration.
Okay, great.
And I had the same idea come
Okay,
to
do
set
we
a
agree
time
with
to
that?
do it
Let's-
all together.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's pick a
Mhm.
time right now. Everybody good with that? Thumbs up, thumbs up. Let's, okay, great. Align our energies. What time do you want to pick?
I mean, I was kind of thinking because we have people from Europe, so 9 o'clock Pacific would be 12 Eastern, would be still before kind of lunchtime. And then it would be 2 o'clock in England, Ireland, and it would be 3 o'clock in Central Europe. So that is a time that works for everyone.
Okay.
That could be a good time to do that. And just, I mean, we are in silence all the time, but this idea of connecting to that circle of silence within our group.
For
We
how
all
long?
have felt whoever,
How long?
I don't know, maybe 30 minutes.
Cornelia, the math isn't quite correct. If it's noontime here at Eastern time,
Oh,
it's 5 hours later already.
No,
in
no,
Europe.
no. We are
Yeah.
talking 9. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, you are right. It's
Yeah.
5 hours.
figure
Thank
it
you,
out.
Leonor. I wasn't thinking properly. Perfect. So it's 5.
It's easy.
So it's 5. It's 5 o'clock Ireland, England, and 6 o'clock then
Yeah.
for the Central Europe.
Right.
Pick
But
a
that
time.
works because we're doing
It
it all
still
day,
works, yeah.
24 hours.
Mhm.
Yeah, Joe?
Yeah, just
Okay.
Yeah.
pick a time. People can figure it out.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
9
9
a.m.
o'clock.
9 a.m.
Pacific.
Pacific.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, same time as the call today.
Mhm.
Okay,
And my experience in that 5 minutes, I was here, there's a lot of outside noise. And this is a segue into our next topic of, what do you need to let go of in order to be in silence and be in this day? Yeah, Linda, it's this coming Saturday. So our neighbors let us know that there is a huge gathering of Little League teams coming to Libby this weekend, and our house is like right across the street, and one lot over is the stadium. And also in Libby this weekend is Logger Days, which means there are going to be chainsaws and lots of people. So what I need to let go of is the idea that I can do this without earplugs. I'm going to be using earplugs, and I need to let go of my desire to participate in anything that's going on in Libby, because when something is going on in Libby, you want to do it because there aren't a lot of things. So those were two things that came up for me about what I need to let go of, in addition to, the screen time and my habit of snacking. I'm aware that I want to be aware of when I have that impulse to just put something in my mouth when it's not a meal time or kind of a designated snack time. Those were the things that immediately came up for me. So other people who have other thoughts about what they need to let go of in order to be able to do the day would be helpful.
So my guess is stepping away from your telephone and text messages and the computer and email is going to be challenging because it's pretty automatic that we have those right in our back pocket. And we except not everybody, but for many people. And I think that that's an agreement that we're going to step away from screen time, or that we're not going to do that during this 24 hours.
Yes, definitely screen time, everything that could upset you, like news. Don't read the news before you get started. Kind of everything that is influencing your mind, really starting the day early in the morning when you wake up, already in more or less meditation, not opening your phone, your texts, your emails at all. And what I need to do, because I'm kind of one of the people that gets lots and lots of messages per day, I will just keep my phone completely out, so I don't get notifications on my phone. And I will also let certain people know that I won't be available on Saturday at all. And that might be something that some people might need to do if you are in demand, so to speak, to maybe set your boundaries in advance and letting people know Saturday I'm not available.
Mm-hmm. And then just weaving this in also, preparing your food. So for those of us, our Ancient Secrets family, might be a fun day to do mung bean soup because it's easy and we all know how to make it, and we can eat it for 3 meals if we want to. In the resource list, if you do sign up for this, you're going to get a resource list of great readings and a few videos and a few movies about silence. And one of the videos is about mindful eating and how beautiful the practice of mindful eating is. And so as a bonus for your day of silence, we're going to practice mindful eating, which I think is an excellent practice for all of us. So as you eat your meals, it will be to really slow down and to eat mindfully, notice the colors, notice the textures, really be present. The video is short, but it's very beautiful about mindful eating. So preparing whatever it is, you don't have to do mung bean soup, of course, but preparing whatever foods you would like to have so you don't have to be in the kitchen cooking.
Deborah?
Thank you. I just needed to mention to this group, if anybody signed up or is going to sign up for the class for the detox in order to join us every month, the last weekend of the month for the 3 days of the detox. I won't be doing the class on Saturday, but if you sign up, if someone signs up, I will be contacting them and planning another day. So I free up this Saturday.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me know. Luke?
I just have a quick recommendation. So it was mentioned before when we did the 5 minutes that even though verbally you might be silent, there might be busyness going on in your mind. What I find helps is to slow my breath and focus on my breath. And when I focus on my breath, it clears the chatter in my mind. I just want to recommend that.
Great, thank
you. Thank you. Ariona?
Yeah. When did you say you were going to be sent? You haven't sent that out yet for people that have registered, correct? The resource list, and you're going to be doing that? Is that, did I understand?
It's in that letter. It's in the
It's
letter.
in the welcome letter. When you have signed up, it should be there. There's a list of reading list.
You click on it.
Okay. Yeah, I must have not seen that. Okay, thank you.
So stepping away from music is also might be a challenge for some people, but we're recommending not doing music, not listening to music on that day. But of course, you make up your own way.
Find the music in nature. and in the sounds around you. And it's astonishing what you start, as Leonora was pointing out. The moment you go in silence and you don't speak and you focus on silence, there is such an array of sounds that you normally don't hear. And just paying attention what is actually around us all the time by us being in silence is opens up a new dimension of what is actually happening around us. The same happens with the energy field. If you're really, in a sense, shutting off one sense, in that sense, the speaking, in this moment here with what we are talking about, if you're not speaking and you really kind of withdraw from the outer world, you are opening up new layers of the environment around you, and you will notice things that you normally don't notice. After a longer period of silence, when I opened my eyes again, the colors were much more intense than they had ever been. These are all things that can happen when you really kind of, in a way, shut one sense down, the others will be enhanced, you will hear more. And that is a wonderful experience as well. So not just focusing on what might happen that might distract us from being in silence, but also what can happen that really enhances the experience. Deborah Ann?
That leads me to ask a question. What if you wanted to play your drum or do something like that? If you're going to do a walking meditation, if you wanted to use a drum in meditation, or your tuning forks or whatever, would that be something we wouldn't consider during this period of being silent? I yield.
I think that is something that everyone needs to decide for themselves, because drums, for example, is something that can get you deeper into a meditation. It's different creating your own sound than listening to music from the outside. There's a big difference.
Feel you all
And
next
so
Saturday, my silent friends.
See you. Thank
Ta-ta for
you,
now.
Linda, for being here.
Yeah. And there's also a question we discussed about journaling, that for some people, I told Katie, well, what happens if I get a great inspiration and I want to write it down? So we laughed about that, because that's me being attached to my great idea. And I think that what we're practicing here is non-attachment, and letting those the thoughts, letting the great ideas trust that they'll come back. This is not a rigid thing, but this thought is that we don't journal. I'm not going to journal. I'm not going to write down all my thoughts, because I think that that's what I'm trying to get away from is all my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
To go deeper into what silence is.
Yeah, and if you have like some brilliant inspiration, make a quick note. You won't, but don't get into the trail of thinking about it or developing that idea.
That's great. Leonora?
Yeah, Susan, that brings up what Dr. Naram did with his little pocket notebooks, and he was writing down when he had light bulbs going on. I think it is very important, and the teachers, the masters, advise us when we are in deep silence and something does come up and we really feel it has significance, seize the moment. And Dr. Naram wrote these things into these little notebooks, even on the toilet. Remember that? Because he said they do not come back necessarily. And I know I have my best ideas in the morning, and I have yet to discipline myself to have that notebook next to my bedside and capture it when it's right there, because the day goes on and our system gets so imprinted again with daily life that it does not return that pure genius, I would call it, because there is genius in those moments. But it's different from journaling. It's not journaling. I will not journal. but I will definitely have, thanks for reminding me, I will have a little pocketbook with me.
Okay, great. Thanks for saying that.
A notebook. Yeah, thank you. I think that's a really good point.
Uh-huh. Esther? Welcome.
Hi, I had to get the audio off or so you can hear me. Yeah, I'm going to follow on Leonora because I've been doing this 40 years, this deep listening and writing. And I do most of my songs, poems, things that I'm so glad I have written and that come through. There's no way I could make a note. It's because it's like you just I think the key is I don't think I'm going to be joining this. I think I'll probably take silence part of the day. Silence is such a big piece of my everyday, as is a lot of listening to external things, but it's become an integral part of my life for so many years. And I think the key is listening to your own wisdom so that, Susan, as you're saying, for you, that deep dive your inner wisdom is perhaps saying, let's do this experiment. And I don't know, I'm one that always is inclined to flexibility rather than rigidity, and thinking that, not thinking beyond thinking, there's a place where what we consider the thoughts settle of their own, not by trying to push them down or repress them, and when that clarity happens, when something emerges, it comes from the deep wisdom of, the heart, and the whole holy whole is what I call it. And it's not thoughts as we, or consider them on a everyday level. It can be very profound and deep. So I'm blessing everybody going into this, and I have the greatest respect for silence. It's what sound emerges from, you know. So much love, and I just was curious. I'm going to stay on the call today, and I'm going to do a portion of the day I'm going to dedicate to silence, probably being in the beach in the redwoods. Where I always go in silence. Very rarely do I have a friend go with me. I only have done it once, and that was really special. But I purposely go by myself usually, but with, a notebook and a pen in hand to receive also what
Yeah.
wants to come through. Okay, thank you for letting me share, and blessings to everybody with this. I think it's a wonderful thing.
So at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning, Esther, we're going to align our energies from all around the planet. So everybody that's doing it. So just so you know that, I don't think you are on the call then.
Yeah, what I also recommend is everyone who hasn't signed up yet, if you sign up and register, as we said, it's free. You can make a donation, but it's free. And when you sign up, you will actually get also a link. We do have a WhatsApp group. And so if there are any questions left or any other ideas coming up, we can share that in that group. And we will also then definitely have the recording there. And we will also send out the recording in different ways. So for the people who couldn't be here today, and so they can actually still join the experience of a day of silence. And so anything else we wanted to cover, Susan?
Well, if anyone
I'm
else
aware of the time.
Yeah, well, if anyone else would like a schedule for the day, we went into AI and asked for a 1-day retreat schedule, and it was very beautiful. And we have those, or you can go ask for a 1-day retreat, silent retreat schedule. And it gives you time, like do a sitting meditation, do a walking meditation. They're different mindful eating, and they give you times. If you're Pitta and your Pitta would like a schedule, just let us know and we can certainly send you one. But I'm just so grateful for everybody who have shown up and for all the people that have been on this call. It's exciting. I'm excited.
Yes.
This lovely energy that's been created right here in this meeting. Thank you for hanging with us and staying with us. And yeah, if you have any questions, there is a WhatsApp group and we will respond.
And you can reach out to any Katie or Cornelia or myself personally.
Yes, please.
Of course.
So
Of
glad
course.
you're here.
Huge thank you.
Very good.
Hi, Claudia.
Yeah, let's rub our hands together and we'll
Yes.
see you on Saturday.
Yay.
No, we won't see each other, but we will feel
won't
each other,
see
but we
you.
might
We will
see
feel
each
you.
other on Sunday.
Right.
We
We'll
will
see you on,
see
oh
you in
yeah, do
spirit.
show up on Sunday. We'll see you in the ethers.
I
Yes, we
love
see
you
you
and
there.
I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
And I'm with you.
Love you
I
and
love
I'm
you.
And I'm
Love
with
you, and I'm with you.
Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank
Love you.
you.
And I'm with you.
Bye-bye.
Love you. I'm with you. Bye.